Hey everybody, how you doing? I went and saw a movie today, which doesn't happen a whole lot anymore. Yay! In general, I only get to see about 3 or 4 movies in the theater per year. I attribute that to my children, who have ruined everything. But now my kids are getting a lot older, and that means that I can start taking them places and not have them ruin the experience for me. And so today, I took my kids, and we went and saw Zootopia. Zootopia hadn't really been on my radar. I saw the trailer when I went and saw Star Wars back in December with the scene at the DMV where it's run by sloths and everything takes forever. And it was a funny scene, but it gave me no sense of what the movie was actually supposed to be. Then I saw a review by Stuckmann online, and he gave it an A and said really great things about it, and that kind of made me curious. After his review, I checked Rotten Tomatoes, it was at 99%. I said, there must be something going on here that I'm not aware of, so let's go check it out. So Zootopia is a really cool movie. It follows the story of a young rabbit who wants to become a police officer in the largest city around, Zootopia. The problem is, there haven't been any rabbits on this police force ever. Rabbits are small, and they are prey animals. They kind of have a hard time naturally dealing with all of the stuff that you're gonna have to deal with. Every other officer we see in the movie are really big animals, rhinoceroses and elephants and lions and jaguars, water buffalo. They're big, they're burly, they're gonna get the job done, and seeing Judy Hopps as this tiny little police officer rabbit is really funny just visually next to everybody else. So Judy Hopps graduates from police academy and she gets a job in Zootopia, exactly what she wanted to do. Her police chief is not happy about her being assigned to his precinct. We're not entirely sure why he's so angry. It seems to be because she's a rabbit and that would make him racist in this world, but she's also the only woman we see on the police force, so it might be that he's sexist as well. Regardless of the official label of his prejudice, he works her into an ultimatum that she has to find a missing person within 48 hours or she has to resign. The person she's tasked to find is one of 14 missing predators that have gone missing recently within the city, and to find them within 48 hours is ridiculous because the police have been working on this for weeks, but she's so desperate to prove him wrong and what she can do, she takes him up on the bet. Ultimately, it's not just the chief who seems racist. Pretty much everybody sees rabbits and thinks of them as cute and harmless and that they can't do anything. An early scene has a jaguar or leopard. I'm not really sure. It's kind of hard. They all look the same to me? That's terrible in this context. Honestly, I'm surprised nobody made that joke in that movie. They should have. That would have been perfect. Anyway, regardless, he calls her cute, and she says, it's a little weird when you call me cute, even though we can call each other cute. And whereas some people would probably say, that's our word, I don't think that's really what that joke was meant to say. That joke is more about one that says, don't patronize me because of who I am. I think the real power in the commentary here comes not from all of those little quips. The better part comes later on when they find all the 14 missing predators who have gone savage. Judy Hopps has to give a press conference, and she is asked there, why have all of these animals gone savage? And she doesn't know. She actually has no clue why that would happen, but she falls back on something that she heard somebody else say, somebody of authority. Once Judy Hopps has tracked down the 14 missing predators, she overhears a scientist wondering why they've gone savage, and he doesn't know either. But because he's a scientist, he guesses that maybe it's because they're predators by nature, that it's something deep down in their DNA that makes them violent, that makes it so they can't be trusted. So during her press conference, when Judy is asked why are all these animals going savage, she repeats what she heard the scientist said, that maybe these animals have become violent and savage because it's something written on their DNA, that really all predators deep down have had to fight to overcome this urge, and deep down they could probably all go off at any given moment. This is the moment that is probably the most racist part of the whole movie, that there are groups of people that deep down, because they can't help it, are predisposed to violence and therefore can't be trusted. It's a moment that goes beyond the idea that racism is just bad. This gets into more of the idea of how the social dialogue happens in our country and how we deal with politics and things that we basically have no concept of. It's in this part of the movie that Judy Hopps takes an issue she doesn't fully understand, but people are afraid and they want answers, so she falls back on somebody that she believed to be an authority. But even the authority didn't really know what was going on. So what she ends up telling everybody is that the predators can't really be trusted, that there's something wrong with them. But really, this goes against her actual personal experience, which is much more complex, that has experiences both with dangerous predators, but also really nice ones that she owes her life to. So the problem comes down to this, that we, all of us, end up at points with issues that we don't fully comprehend. So to help express what we think, or just to make it sound like we have some answers, we fall back on the voices of people who are louder than us. People who we think we can trust because they have a fancy special TV show, or because their name means something, or just because they speak about things as if they know what's going on, but in reality, they probably don't have any better answers than we could come up with ourselves. There are always people who are spouting off their ideas that they got from somebody else, and they haven't really thought through what they're talking about, and they probably don't have the authority to be speaking on it to begin with. We hear things, we run them through our brain, and we spit them back out without having any actual conviction behind any of it. But over time, we grow to believe what we say, because if we don't believe what we say, then we look like we're weak, or that we look like we can't make up our minds on something. This is why Zootopia is a great commentary on society, not just because of racism, but more about how we talk about issues that we don't really have any real knowledge in. It doesn't back up Judy Hopps' ideas of reality. It doesn't back up her experience. She has a complex experience, one that says there are good people and bad people, and that does not line up with who or what kind of species they are. Regardless, because of what she says, it has effects throughout the entire city. Predators become more and more feared. There are riots that break out. People can't be trusted. Friends of hers that she knows are good people lose their jobs because everybody's afraid of them. Every once in a while you get a movie kind of like this. It's marketed toward kids and you find out there's a lot in it for adults. But typically what that means is that it has humor that adults will pick up on that's a little too dirty for kids to pick up on. So stuff like Shrek and I don't know, Shrek. I really like movies like this because it takes a very interesting and important concept and puts it in completely different context. Gives us a different way of looking at it through a different story that most people would probably fall back on and say, well, it's a kid's movie, but it's not really. For kids movies, you watch stuff like Minions, and then you hate yourself afterwards because there's nothing redeeming in that movie at all. Zootopia is a movie that takes a creative storytelling approach to deal with an issue that a lot of us are dealing with, especially this year, as we have very, very loud people talking about very, very big issues and giving them a bunch of sound bites to throw back and forth at each other that some people are really buying into and not really stopping to think that these people are not authorities and they are not the people who are experts. But we're running with it anyway, and it's causing trouble, it's causing disaster, it's ruining lives. Zootopia is also another example of why I think grown-ups should be paying more attention to animation. It's a creative storytelling device to use animals to deal with this concept. And even though sometimes it might seem a bit mild, and therefore that's why it's for children, it does such a great job at highlighting this issue that I think it's something adults need to pay more attention to. If you haven't already, go see Zootopia. It's worth your time, it's worth your money, it's a good movie, it's very highly reviewed right now. I don't know how much money it's making. The theater we saw it in was pretty empty, but then again, they're showing it like 3 times every 2 hours, so that could be part of it. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel, share my videos, like them, and down in the comments, talk about what you thought about Zootopia, and in general, other movies that are made for kids but are really great for adults. Till then, I'll see you later. So my kid wants me to go down this slide backwards, so I'm gonna do that.
This slide backwards.
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay. No! Well,
I
getting up from here is stupid. That was way too difficult.